Hello there, my lovelies. So, back by popular demand, I have my model, Georgia, back with me today. So, as you can see, I'm doing some more body painting. This video, I'm going to be painting Georgia's hands and her feet. She'll also be painting my hands, so you'll get to see, I think, 4 different designs overall, possibly 5. We'll see how we go. So I'm just starting with a branch design, keeping it fairly natural. It actually matches her nail varnish. I didn't realise that at the time. So I'm using a small brush. Now, I'm using paint that is safe to put on your skin. So if you want to try this at home for a giggle, I would recommend getting some official body paint. And if you're painting on someone else, like I am, it's good to ask them if they have any allergies or sensitive areas that might cause irritation. But she is completely fine with it, so I shall carry on. This video was requested by quite a few people, and I always find it relaxing doing body painting. It's even more relaxing when you are the one being painted onto, but I really don't mind at all. So it's very therapeutic, I find. I suppose it's very similar to body brushing, or similar to the feeling of having a feather run across your skin. So you're not allowed to be ticklish. So I'm just adding some flowers to my design, and this is a squeezable body paint by Claire's. It was very easy to use, but I wouldn't actually recommend it because after this painting session, Georgia went to wash it off and it actually stained her skin a little. It did take quite a lot of soap and scrubbing to get it off. I think maybe we possibly just left it on there too long, so I wouldn't recommend using that as a face painting product, but on the hands and feet it's fine. So my design is looking kind of like a cherry tree branch, I think, with all the pink on it. So I might add some green to it just to balance it out. And she's very good at sitting still, so thumbs up for Georgia. Okay, so popping the green on now for the leaves, and this one didn't stain as much as the pink did. I also have a couple of other colours in this range from the Claire's body paint, so I think maybe the pink one was possibly a dodgy tube, or I'm not sure what happened, but the others were perfectly fine and washed off. So now I'm just taking my small angle brush and pulling the paint, just flicking it out a little bit, flick, flick, to give me some leaves. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on. Down each branch. Okay, down the bottom. And then back up the other side. Okay. Adding a light green now in the mix as my highlight. Dot, 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 dot. Okay, a few more at the top. It's looking a bit sparse up there. So dot, 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 dot. There we go. And right at the top. There we go. Okay. So this is Georgia's other hand, and I'm going to be doing a rainbow design on this one. When we started to set up for this video, we didn't really have any designs in mind. We were sort of just winging it a little bit. So here I'm starting off with the green in the centre and then a yellow. So this one's going to be mainly made up of dots. And my next colour, or my next circle of dots, I'm going to be going outward into an orange. So just pop those there, making sure I give them enough space. So again, dot, 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 dot. Perfect. Looks like a little flower. Like I said, this is completely random. I didn't have a plan for the design, and it wasn't supposed to be particularly realistic. It was more about playing with colours and shapes. So my next layer is the red, following around the orange on the outside. Okay, so again, dot, dot, dot around, making sure I keep the design close enough together, but that each dot has its own gap. Okay. I'm going to go around with the purple. So you can see how I've designed this one, or how it's going to turn out. And I've now got a different purple that I'll be going around with. It's just working my way outwards from the centre, keeping that dotting going. I think it looks quite pretty. And again, mixing through for my next colour. There we go, around the outside, so it's now become more of a blue colour. Okay. Dot, 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 dot. So at this stage I actually started running out of room on George's hand. So I think maybe I should have done 2 small designs rather than 1 large one, but I still like it nevertheless. And then on the next layer I have a metallic turquoise colour, which looks really nice against the blue. So this time I'm going to pull it outwards slightly so it's less of a dot and more like petals on a flower. I'm trying my best not to rest my hand on her hand so it doesn't smudge. Normally when I'm drawing or painting in a small area, I have to rest my hand. Okay, so now we're moving on to the foot. And it's a lot more difficult to paint on a person's foot than I've originally thought, because obviously they have ridges and bumps, and the foot does arch upwards as you get close to the ankle, so I don't think I picked a very good design for this, but it was all about experimenting, so I don't think people will mind. So I don't want to give you any hints. Maybe you might be able to guess what I'm painting before I finish. Okay, so again using my small angle brush just to pull up towards the ankle, and then again bringing my dots in. Okay. Just mixing up my colours. Okay. So now I've mixed in a little white and made the blue a lot lighter. There we go. Just get a bit more paint onto my brush. So again, just dot, dot, dot around the outside. Okay. Again, mixing up my paint. I have a palette off camera, so using a very thin brush here. And these are supposed to be feathers, believe it or not. Okay, so bringing back in the white again and just dragging it. My simple feathers. And of course you just can't have one or two, you have to have quite a few, so I just couldn't help adding more. And it balances out the image as well. So just a flick. So I'm trying to keep all the designs that I paint simple, because as you can probably tell, it's quite difficult to get straight lines and certain effects on a person's foot. And I don't really have much experience in painting other people's, so I think I've only ever done face paint a few times. So this is definitely something still new to me, but I would love to do more of these videos. I want to thank you guys again for requesting this, because I've actually been wanting to do another body painting video for a while, and it was just a case of trying to find a day when me and Georgia were both free. But we both enjoy doing these, and I'm really glad that you guys are enjoying them as well. So there will definitely be more of these. I might make a separate playlist of just body painting. So I just got to think of designs for next time. Maybe something a bit more elaborate, like a castle, or maybe a sunset, or a particular animal. Let me know what you guys think. What would you like to see me paint onto Georgia? Okay, so here's the finished product, and it was meant to be a dream catcher, but I think I needed to add a lot more to it than I did, but I don't think it's too bad. As I said, I might do something more elaborate next time. So now I come into the part of the video where Georgia was painting onto my hands, and I'm sorry about the angle. I was sitting behind the camera and I thought that my hand was a lot closer than it is, so I do apologise for that, but in the next sequence you will see my hand closer to the camera, so for now I'm sorry, but I hope you guys guys can still see what she's trying to do. She was a little embarrassed about painting on camera, and she told me to tell you guys not to judge her too harshly on her artistic ability, so be nice. But as I said, it was more about just experimenting and having fun, so I think she did absolutely brilliantly. I think flowers had become a theme for what we were trying to paint a lot of, either through dots or abstract shapes. So okay, so you can see that Georgia has started in the middle with some yellow, and she's gone around the outside in red, and for the next layer she's going to go around in a white, sort of pale green colour, and you can see it looks like a flower as she goes around and just starts to build it up. Now Georgia is very into her mandalas, so she likes very tribal sort of, I don't know if hippie is the right word, but she likes her mandala patterns. So in this part of the video she wanted to experiment with a pattern very similar to mine, where you start in the middle and work outwards, but she wanted to do it a bit differently. So you'll see as she builds up her design what I mean. But I would recommend this to anybody. I found it very relaxing, being painted on. I don't know why, it just really was really calming and slightly ticklish, but not too much, so that it was distracting, but it was very enjoyable. You'll see just going around the outside with the metallic blue that I used earlier. Okay. So she's extending out the petals. And as she goes around, you'll notice that she's filling them in. So the centre is more of a solid shape than an outline. There's me trying my best to stay still. But hopefully you can see my hand a bit better now. Okay. Just finishing off the last few petals. And filling them in. Okay, to give my hand a little bit of a stretch and a wiggle. I think my arm is starting to go a bit numb at this point. Okay, so she's just mixing her next colour. So now you'll notice she's using dots, much like I was where I did my design. Just working around the outside. And again, dot, dot, dot. She's very careful and a lot neater than I am. I imagine this is what it feels like to receive a henna tattoo. I've never actually had one done, so I can't really speak from experience, but I guess it might be the same sort of feeling. Definitely very relaxing. Send me into a trance. So I started to notice that her design reminded me of the insignia from Lost. I don't know if anyone else can see that. I don't know why, it just reminds me of the like emblem design on like the hatches and stuff. Let me know what you think, but it just reminds me of that. And just carrying the dots round. Time for a refill. It did take more paint than we thought it might do. We are using it very neat and concentrated, so that's probably why, but never mind. And now for the last few dots. There we go. So you can see what the pretty much finished design looks like. It did make my hand feel a little bit strange having something on top of it, but overall I enjoyed the experience. Here we have my other hand, and this time Georgia is starting along my wrist and working upwards. And she's using a slightly thicker brush to start with. So this design is a bit more bold. Once again, we're going for a more organic feel. Here you can see, if I just angle my wrist a bit better, there is a stem and 2 leaves. Okay, so in a moment you'll see her begin the central design on my hand. Again, apologise if the angle isn't quite perfect for viewing, but I do move my hand around, so you should be able to see what she's painting. We start in the middle with some brown, another wiggle of the arm, I'm sure as soon as you see the next colour you'll be able to guess what it is that she's painting. Okay. So it is bright yellow. And she's being very careful with her brush strokes. So if I just wiggle to the side, you can see a little bit. And as she moves around close to the camera, you'll get a better idea. One petal, 2 petal, 3 petal, 4. 5 petal, 6 petal, 7 petal, more. Yes, it is indeed a sunflower. I loved this particular one so much that I wore it on my arm for the rest of the day, and I didn't wash it off till after tea time. Adding some more petals for a more abstract flower. again, she's very careful how she paints them. I think it's super pretty and very cute. And around the other side. Let's see if I can count how many petals there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. 15, 16, and that is the finished sunflower design. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys again very soon.